So, it helps to double check things. Okay, so when you're ready, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, this time you'll all be ready to watch the extreme speed tech of clicking in this corner to skip the letter. It'll be great.
Exactly. Okay, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, okay. I had some aim issues there, but whatever. It's actually a really hard click. It's like a very small little box you gotta click on.
Oh yeah, it's incredibly hard to hit.
Yeah, but this is Curse of Blackmoor Manor. Nancy has been invited to a fun-looking British house to help her friend's daughter or something. I forget the lore. It's been so long since I've actually, like, listened to everything in this game. So I'm sure chat knows better than I do, probably.
And we do have some donations.
Oh, yeah.
One is That Teacher's Lunch, who donated $5 and said, "You will not ruin the school's reputation with your sleuthing, Becca. Amazing run and great job." For Karen's, thank you for that.
Thank you.
And also we have Evil Clown Attack, who donated $50 and says,
Wow.
"I've been listening and gotta say, this is an amazing marathon. I love seeing so many people involved in Nancy Drew speedrunning. Thank you to everyone who made this happen, and good luck, Toburr."
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, so we get this little cutscene where we meet Mrs. Drake. She talks a lot, so we're gonna try to avoid talking to her for a while, because she only speaks a lot at a time. And I love her for it. She's a wonderful, like, I love all the characters in this game casually. It's just a shame that, like, they can slow down the run sometimes. But yeah, she's gonna introduce us, but yeah, we don't really care. We just want to see Linda. You know, we've been on a long flight. We just got in from the States. I personally am feeling pretty hungry, so I think I'm just gonna order some food real quick, if you don't mind, before we really start the run. So yeah, we're in our room. We're gonna go straight to the phone. We're gonna call the cook, Tommy. Love him. Good lad. This is actually part of the run.
Hi, this is Nancy.
As much as I like joking around. We're gonna order some food because it's gonna come with some butter, and we're gonna use that butter to grease up a lock in a little bit later, in like, I don't know, 15-ish minutes. So he's gonna speak all Cockney and...
What do you have?
We've got some loop-de-loop, bangers and mash, a real fine
Yeah,
and perky, and
I love these foods. Love eating some Eye of Dog. But we're gonna order the bangers and mash just because it's faster. It's quicker to say on the phone. Also, when the food arrives, Nancy's gonna have a little comment on it, and that is also relatively short as well, thankfully.
Bangers and mash.
Yeah, so this is when he asks if you want the bread and butter, so you gotta say yes, even though Nancy doesn't quite know what it means. No one really knows what it means. They don't have a hot potato, like, okay, sure. All right, Tommy. So we're also very tired from this flight, so we're just gonna go to sleep for 24 hours. Hopefully the delivery person will wake us up. Maybe this is them? I don't think it's them. Maybe it's a rave? Wow, we've been asleep 9 hours, and our food still isn't here. So maybe we better have a look around. I think maybe it went to the folks at the rave instead of us. I think the rave is probably happening in the library.
I wonder who Alan is.
I don't know who Alan is, but I do know his computer password, thankfully. So yeah, so by going to sleep, we've advanced some time. This is, now it's like, the first time you go to bed in this game, it'll always wake you up in the middle of the night like that. And this is a challenge you have to do to finish the game that you can only do in the middle of the night. So this is a very good time for it. It'll take us all around the manor, and it'll let us set up for some stuff later in the run too, which is why doing it early like this is really helpful. We're gonna touch, in all caps, 13 ghosts. It'll be a lot of fun.
Remember, you mustn't waste any time. Our little chums won't stay visible for long. So, on your mark, get set, go!
Okay, so yeah, so I'm just gonna go around and click. Yeah, if any, you know, if there are any donations or anything, feel free to interrupt whatever I'm saying. We're gonna get the conservatory ghosts.
10 to go.
So right here, we're gonna actually look at one of these portraits really quick, like that. Hope you got a good look. That'll help us out later. Other than that, just mostly getting ghosts. We're gonna go check that this door is locked. We need the key.
10 down, 3
because we can't get the key to that door until we complain about it being locked. We're also going to go up here and get a key from this, not to the door we just checked, unfortunately, but a different key. That'll be very useful, all the same. In fact, we're going to use it right now, or try to, but it won't turn.
I need to put some there.
I wonder if there's anything we can use to make that key turn.
Must be the food I ordered.
Oh, finally.
Bangers and mash, huh? Looks like
Only took them 9 hours to deliver it finally at 3:15 a.m.
This smells delicious. I can use my Johnny Rudder to
Oh.
open that lock outside Jane's room.
Clever. Oh, hello. So now we're gonna set the time for 2 p.m. because that's when, okay, or 3 p.m. That also works. That is when Jane's lessons end for the day. But first we're gonna solve this puzzle because it'll get us a reward that will be kind of handy a few times in the run. Oh, okay. A lot of my clicks got eaten there. There's $1 for the tracker. Oh yeah, if someone has access to the paste bin, I wrote up a bunch of things that when I do something, I'll donate extra money after the run. And every time I complain about my clicks getting eaten, that's $1.
Thankfully, it is already in a Moobot command in the chat. If you guys do exclamation point incentive, so you can get a link to that
Nancy Drew,
paste bin.
our friendly neighborhood
Wow,
detective.
y'all are on this.
Well,
Thank you.
welcome to Blackmoor Manor. I apologize for greeting you under such unusual circumstances.
And
Yeah,
I'm
so now
sorry
we're
I
gonna
have
meet
to
Linda.
bother someone in your
She's why we're
condition.
here. She ain't feeling great.
That's my mother's
She's a lovely
idea.
curtain though.
What
I
her
love the
son-in-law
texture.
keeps telling me that it's all in my head, that I'm just an unhappy new
But
bride
yeah,
who I
so
just
we're
need
gonna meet
cash
her.
to drop.
She's not having a great time.
I'm
She came
tired
from
of
America just like
crying,
us.
mouth
She's
is dry,
tired and
vision
hungry.
blurry.
I highly recommend the
That's
bangers and
not
mash.
Here's what's important, Nancy.
But yeah, we're gonna meet here so that we can meet her daughter.
There are
And then we're gonna meet her daughter so that we can go back to talk to Linda about more things. Basically the whole first half of this run is trying to get access to the 2 secret tunnels in the house. Spoiler alert, there are 2 secret tunnels. You know, a lot of these games, you get 1 secret tunnel. This game, you get 2. And I think that's pretty neat.
That was my stepdaughter.
That is
She can
pretty
be
neat.
such a
You know what else is
precious
pretty
kind.
neat? We have a
Anyway, I
donation
understand
from
you
Nancy's
Let's go.
pocket
to my
buddy
mother,
who
so
donated
trust me.
$5
There's
and
nothing you
says,
can do.
"Let me out, it's dark in
Welcome to
here."
stay. I strongly recommend that
Thank you
get
very
home
much.
As soon as possible.
Please, Linda, just tell me what's wrong. Linda?
Right, yeah, so Linda's just gonna stop talking to us
Okay, I'll let you rest.
so we can finally be free
I'll be back.
until we
I'm
come back
here
in a
for
few
you if
minutes.
you need me.
Yeah, unfortunately, the conversations in these games, they tend to come in like large bunches. Oh, we got high skip. Let's go.
So pleased you're here.
That saves like almost no time at all. But it feels swaggy when you do it.
You could pop by whenever you get the chance.
Yeah, so this is Jane, Linda's
Oh,
daughter.
that's
She loves playing
fun.
games, but
That's
playing
nice.
games is slow,
Not right
so we
now.
try to avoid it
Maybe
as
later.
often as we can.
I'd like to ask
In this
some
conversation, we're going to
questions
deny
first.
playing games with
Sure,
her
what do you
twice,
want to
which
know?
is super impressive because it's not that long.
I mean, Linda.
But yeah, as I was saying,
She's been a
the
bit
conversations in this run tend to be very
When did
clustered.
she
So
start
you have one
getting
with Linda, you have one with
I was
Jane,
playing in Mommy's
you
room
have
when she
2 more
wasn't
with
there,
Linda,
and when I looked up, there
and then you
was
get to do a
lady
bunch of
all
fun
dressed in black, putting
puzzle and
something
movement
on
things,
Mommy's
and then you have more
nightstand.
The woman
conversations. And
left something?
you've seen
Maybe
runs
put a
of
note on
these
Mommy's
games. I
nightstand,
feel
but
like
I didn't read
the
it.
cadence has probably
That's
been
when
well
Mommy
established by
started
now.
feeling poorly. I don't want to think about that. Let's play
Yep,
a
she
game.
still wants to
What's
play
your
games. We
plan?
still
Not right
do not.
now, but maybe later.
You can come in anytime you want, even if I'm not here. I've got some really smashing
As was
things.
pointed out to me the other
I'm
day, it's
so
really
happy to
weird
come
that she's
something.
just like, yeah, you can
Okay,
come into my
then
room when I'm
you're
not here.
better.
Like, what kid feels that way?
Oh, you startled me.
Oh,
You
yeah,
must be
also
Nancy.
Ethel.
I'm
She's
so
another person we have
sorry.
conversations
How
with.
do you do?
Jane is very excited you're
She's a
visiting.
thing. The scariest part of the whole game, honestly, is when she just appears out of
She's
nowhere.
obviously a very intelligent young woman.
Still haunts me to this day. Like when I'm playing casually, if I ever get some of the conversations you usually don't get in the run, I'm just always like, oh right,
Jane,
Oh,
that's a
I guess
thing.
I'll be going then.
it was a pleasure meeting you, Nancy. Our paths will cross again, I'm sure.
So she is sure our paths will cross again. I'm going to disagree, because if that happens, something went very poorly in the
Sorry to
run.
bother you again.
Thankfully, that is the only
You told me
conversation we
about
need to
the
have with
lady in
Ethel to finish the
black.
game.
What
We
lady
might
in
see her
black?
again at one point,
Jane never said
but
anything
hopefully
to
not
me
talk
about
to
a
her,
lady in
fingers
black.
crossed.
That kid is so weird. I just don't get her.
Did you
So yeah, we
receive
can't
a
have
note
this
or something
conversation
that's
with
upset
Linda
you?
until we met
I
Jane,
did
because it sort of
receive
opens
something.
with
But it's
Nancy
none of
going,
your
hey,
concern.
Jane told me you
can't
got
tell me
cursed.
That. I'm sorry.
Linda, you have to
And
give
Linda
me a
somehow
chance.
doesn't want to talk about
Everyone
that.
is so worried about you. If you just tell me what's happened, maybe I could help.
All right, yeah.
Linda?
Linda, not having it.
I made a promise
She's
to your
gone
mother
silent
and
again.
I plan to keep it. I'm here for you when you need
So let's
me.
talk to her again.
Hi, Linda.
Nancy? I can't believe you're still here.
Wow, yeah, she's
I never
reeling.
should.
She is like,
Maybe you
how?
can help me.
She
What
just
did the
talked to
lady
me a
in
second
black
ago. How
leave
did
for
she
you
not
on
leave
your
yet?
nightstand?
All I know
It's kind of
is
wholesome.
I've awakened something in
The
this
real
house.
reason being that this
Something
conversation
that
is one that you can't have until you've slept
What
at
did you
least one
do?
night in the manor.
One day
So usually you
after
have
left
this
the road,
later
I
than the
inadvertently
one
discovered a
where you're
secret
like, hey, Jane
passageway.
told me about the
I
curse.
started to explore it.
But it's faster to
And
have them
pretty
at the same
soon, I
time,
found
so
this
we
really
do it.
old-looking message etched into the wall. When I read it, I realized it was some kind of ancient curse. I tried to
All
laugh
right,
it
thankfully
off, but it
though,
was kind of
this is the
unnerving.
last
So I
like
went back
very
to my
lengthy
room and
conversation
found
we're
it
gonna have in
on
the
my
early game.
nightstand.
After this, we
And
get to
on
do
it
some
was
fun stuff.
written
Well,
the exact
okay,
same
fun
curse.
in quotes. Some actual fun
That
stuff.
very night, I started
But
to feel
the next thing we're gonna do is one of the
strange.
more
The curse has
infamous
been coming
parts of the
true
run.
ever
It'll be hype,
since.
I
Can you tell
promise.
me what this curse said?
And
I
the worse it
heard
goes,
as
the
soon
more
as I
money I'll
read it.
donate probably. So
I
like
don't know
that's
why
pretty
I bothered
hype.
telling you this. You can't do anything for me. I should have listened, but I didn't. And now what's done is done.
I'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
All right, so now we're going back to Jane's room. You know, really, really fun routing, going from Linda's room to Jane's room to Linda's room to Jane's room.
Hi, Nancy.
But
Do you know
that
of
just
any
is the
secret
way it is.
passageways in the
It's a
manor?
very
I
forced
found
sequence
one,
of
but all it did
conversations.
was lead to this funny
But yeah, so now that
Do you
Linda's
think
talked
you'll
about
show me
secret
where
oh,
the
sorry.
passageway is?
Sorry.
Would you rather play a game
We
with
have
me?
another
I'm
donation from
so
Anonymous
bored.
who
If I
donated
play a
$10 and
game
says,
with you,
let's
will
go,
you tell me where
gamers.
the secret passageway is?
Thank you, gamer.
Okay.
I can't get in
I
there
got
right
this
now.
at this really neat museum in the States.
Yeah, so it's a
supposed to
very
be the
forced
original
sequence of
Mayan,
conversations in
don't
the
hurry.
game. Like,
You
so we
don't have
had
to
to talk to
kill
Jane,
people
so we
and
could talk to
take
Linda
the
about the
hearts
secret
out of
passageway. We
everything.
had to talk to Linda about the secret
I can't
passageway,
get in
to
there
talk to
right
Jane
now.
You
about
grow
the
the
secret
corn
passageway.
with
We
your
can't get
oil
in there right
and you
now.
have dots on the corn. If
And
one
now,
pass
if we win this
gets within
game,
5 spaces,
we get
you get
the
3
key to the
turns
secret
if you
passageway.
pass on your second turn.
So
You just keep on going
this is a
down
fun
the
game. You
track,
might have
and
seen it
you can
yesterday
push
in
my
Secret of the
cousin's
Scarlet Hand,
hand on
except
me.
in this one,
Whoever gets
we can
all
only
those
control one
heads,
player at a
I'll
time,
be
so
blue.
it's
Here you
extra
go.
fun. Because, you know, her
I
was like,
pass.
you know, like, this is basically just a classic dice rolling
Your
game.
turn.
But you know what's even more fun than rolling dice? Is rolling 4
You
pieces
can
of
go.
corn at a time. All right,
Oopsie.
I've already gotten a soldier capture. That is $5 on
I
top of my
pass.
donation total at the end of the run. Let's go.
Pass.
This is all. Oh, come on.
You can go.
This is also a
Your turn.
an interesting difference between the junior and senior runs of the game.
You
Is
can
Jane
go.
has different AI actually. On junior, it's basically like the way the
go.
game works. If you weren't listening, because I was talking over it. Oops.
Your
Is
turn.
every turn you roll once, and then you can either roll again or pass,
Pass.
like Jane just did. And on Junior, it's always a 50-50 whether she rolls again or passes.
You can go.
On Senior, she will actually, if she can,
Pass.
capture you on the next roll. So that's if she is
I
5 or
pass.
fewer spaces away, she will always roll again. Otherwise, she always
Pass.
passes to play a little bit more defensively. Okay, there's another $1 because I passed
Your
Jane's
turn.
soldier by exactly 1 space, which happens a lot,
Your turn.
more frequently than you'd expect.
Your turn.
I'm doing a lot of stopping 1 space in front of her
Another
this run, which is
warrior
quite
bites the
unfortunate,
dust.
but not for charity though.
Your turn.
That's pretty fortunate. Okay, hopefully
go.
I can capture. Right? No? Okay, I'm just gonna roll a
Your
5.
turn.
Pass.
Yeah, so, you know, the general strategy is, if you're, you know, close to her, if you're 3 or fewer spaces away, you want to
can
roll
go.
again, because you have a 75% chance of
Gotcha.
rolling a 3 or lower. Since it does actually,
pass.
it doesn't just, like, generate a random number from 1 to 5
Pass.
uniformly, it actually, like, simulates each flip of the corn.
I pass.
So 4 is a little scary to pass on. But thing is, if she gets a low roll and pass, then you get another shot at capturing her. So it's pretty fast on
can go.
average, if a little bit risky.
Pass.
But hey, if I lose this, I'm just gonna donate more money,
You can
so it's
go.
not even that bad. Speaking of
Another
which,
warrior bites
this is
the
actually getting pretty
dust.
dicey. This is some really unfortunate
Your
luck,
turn.
which is, you know, kind of what I expected for the marathon run. I had
can
some
go.
decent bull in practice,
All
so
right.
it's evening
Your
out now.
turn.
Pass.
Do we have any bowl lovers in the chat? Anyone who's like, wow, I'm loving this bowl so much. I just want to donate like hundreds of dollars. Ooh.
Oh no.
4 is a low roll, or like a rare roll, so that's pretty high.
Your turn.
All right, comes down to this is the final round. It's a round 7. Oh, please don't roll a 1. Okay.
Pass.
Obviously, just very slow if you lose the game because you have to beat Jane to
Pass.
to get the key. So you have to start all over again. Which is why I
You can go.
Asked for a generous estimate for this run, and thankfully was given
Your
to me.
turn.
Okay, give me a 1, please. No!
Your turn.
There's another $1.
Pass.
I pass.
Your
All right,
turn.
give me the 2. Choose the most common. Nope.
You can go.
Pass.
Okay, give me a 3. Let's go. All right, we
Alright,
didn't lose.
not
Thank
fair.
goodness.
Okay. I found the secret passageway in the East Hall.
All
Go
right,
back to
so
the hall.
that basically killed any shot at world record we have, but
it's
that's
not very
okay.
exciting, the secret
It
passageway.
has
It's
increased the
going to be
length
totally
of the run,
What
and
if
that's
we
also more
all
money
play
at the end
gaming
that I'll be
instead?
The
donating.
East Hall
So that's
is
pretty hype.
locked. Do you know how I can get in it?
My great aunt took the key. She probably thought I'd break something in there.
Yeah, so
But
because we checked the
I
hallway during the ghost hunt, we can talk
Yeah, you can keep it
about
if
the
you
key
want.
being, or the door being locked, and then we can get the key.
Jane, did there used to be a telescope in my room?
Mm-hmm. I took it outside to look at the stars. But if you want
And
it
because we
back,
solved
you'll
that
have to
box
play a game
puzzle,
with
we
me.
saw that
I
diagram
knew
about
you
the
were going to say
telescope, so now
that.
we can ask her about the telescope, because Jane just
Okay,
knows
what's
how
the
to provide
deal?
us everything we
Let's
need.
see how quick your reflexes
But only if we
are.
play a game.
I'll
But this is a
time
much more
you.
fun
If you get
game.
the puzzle done in
You have to
time,
solve a
I'll
jigsaw
return the
puzzle.
telescope. If
Uh,
not, then you'll have to try again.
the
On
pieces
your
look like a
mark,
big jumble
get
at the
set,
start, but it's
go.
actually like not random. They're in the same spot every time, so it's just a pure piece placement execution sort of
minutes.
challenge, and it's I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's a nice palate cleanser after bowl. Okay. All right, I picked up the pieces in a slightly different order than I'm used to, but
There,
that turned out
You
fine.
won. Good show. I'll put the telescope back in your room first chance I get.
I should get going.
Ta-ta.
All right, so now that we have the key to the secret passageway hall thing, we're gonna go to the secret passageway. Go into our first secret passageway of the run. Very exciting. We know how to turn those things to open it just
If I
cause.
wanna
Don't worry
look
about it.
around in there, I'm going to need a flashlight.
Oh,
Hello?
all right, that's also more money to donate, cause I had to close the game to get the audio
Yes, and I'm
on
afraid she
stream, so I
seems
forgot to set
really
up phone glitch before the
depressed.
run.
I'm just
Classic.
about at my wit's end. I've
Normally
never
before the
known
run,
to act
you
like
can do a
this.
thing
The last
where you
time
interact
we
with Lulu,
examined
the
that
parrot,
aside from a little dry
just on the other
skin,
side of the
which is
store.
not unusual for
You can
her,
interact
she
with her
was
cage and watch a
perfectly
cutscene
fine.
and
Maybe she's
call
just
Mrs. Petrov during the
unhappy
cutscene,
I
which
don't know
gets her to
why.
answer the
I mean,
phone
she absolutely
instantly.
adores Hugh. She
I
was
forgot to
thrilled
do
when
that.
he got
Oops.
married and couldn't wait to start a new life with him and his daughter there in England. Something has changed her.
It only saves like a couple seconds. It's not really a big deal, but it looks pretty fun.
You must be bewildered and upset by her behavior as I am. Please get to the bottom of this, Nancy. You're our last hope.
Goodbye, Mrs. Petrov.
So we're gonna say goodbye to Mrs. Petrov. She's gonna say goodbye to us and then keep
My
talking.
niece is on call and her husband's out of town, and I
But now
told
we
her
have to do
I
some
know
more
that
fun
they're
puzzles
busy.
after she
has
hangs
work.
up, so that'll be pretty
So
fun.
if you call and I don't answer, that's why. Bye.
So next we're gonna go back to Nancy's room. The reason we call her is because she will call you when you try to go back to Nancy's room, so it's like, you know, it's just faster to do it yourself, especially if you actually remember to set up phone glitch. We're gonna look at the
There are
telescope.
symbols in that
We're
mural
gonna
that
see
I
some really
couldn't
cool
see
stuff. I
before.
hope you all got a good look. I sure did.
Wonder what goes there.
We'll need to know that stuff for later, so I hope you're paying attention. This is the wrong order. Oh, okay. So we're gonna get this little moon piece, which will be useful. This is the first of several keys we're gonna get. We're actually gonna get a second right now. There are 6 keys to open. Okay, I say I'm using the term key loosely, obviously. There are 6 like little items you get that'll open up the columns in the Great Hall, which I'm sure you saw on our way in. And so one of the long-term things you got to do to finish the run is to get all 6 of them, so you can open the columns and tinker about inside. So we have our first one, so that's a fun little milestone. So this is just another really fun puzzle. When I'm good at it, at least. This is not the right... What am I... Wait. This is not the right order for things. Oh no, what am I doing? Okay, like this. Here we go. Trying to commentate and do puzzles at the same time was maybe a mistake. Oops. Thank you for bearing with me. We now have the lightning bolt. That's another column key that we'll need. Actually, go back to Jane. Conveniently, on the other side of the door from that puzzle we just did.
Let's just say you live in a
So because it was so dark, we're trying to get a flashlight. You can ask everyone in the manor for a flashlight, but as usual, Jane's the only one who can actually hook you up. Kind of. She'll explain the kind of in a bit.
Do you have a flashlight?
A flashlight?
Yeah, she laughs at our American flashlights.
American term. In the UK, we call it a torch. I don't have one, but I do have a whole bunch of glow sticks. If you want one, you have to play a game with me. That's the rule.
Yep, as per usual, we had to play another game with Jane. It's also a very RNG heavy game. Not as bad as Bull. We won't be losing multiple minutes to this, hopefully, unless I'm really bad. Oh, we got really good initial layout RNG. I'm loving this. Okay, this is... I mean, maybe it's too soon to speak, but this is actually one of the best petroglyph punches of all time that I've ever had. This is... wow. Okay, yeah, that was really good. Love to see that. Game trying to be slightly merciful after that bowl, I guess.
Here's your glow stick. If this one goes out, I'll let you play for another one.
Okay, so now we're done talking to Jane.
Ta-ta.
Just like Ethel, we're done talking to Jane for the rest of the run, because now we gotten everything we need from her and her games. Well, okay, kind of. We're basically done talking to Jane. Because now we can see in the tunnels, and that's important. Being able to see and go and move around safely.
Barber.
So we're gonna see this cursed parrot barber.
What's a parrot got to do with a barber?
It's an excellent question, Nancy. Let's go find out by talking to the parrot herself, Lulu.
Oh, it's just a parrot.
Oh no, Nancy, this is not just a parrot. This is Lulu.
Okay, I get the point. Lulu.
I love Lulu. Unfortunately, we only really need to kind of get this information out of her in the run.
I have no idea.
Which doesn't serve much bigger of a purpose, but if she did, I would love it.
The word annoying comes to mind.
Sorry, that is incorrect. Magic word.
Yeah, Lulu, very iconic. Also, yeah, very killable if you try to make her food. Thankfully, in the run, we never actually had to make her food. Okay, so now we're up at the part of the run that I always have the most trouble remembering things, which is hilarious since I've already forgotten to do stuff like set up phone glitch. So like actually like I have my splits open next to me just so like for the split, the split name is really just all the things you do in this section because I always forget it all. So first we talked to Linda for the last time, which I know I've said before about other folks. Like I said that about Ethel and I was like kinda, and I said that about Jane, but then I was like kinda. But this actually the last time we're talking to Linda. We're done with her. She's gonna spill the beans on the gargoyle and we're like, perfect, we're done with you, goodbye, deal with your curse. Should really call up Tommy.
I think someone's trying to scare you off.
Be safe. I'll have everything wrapped up in the next 20-30 minutes.
You're right. I did get too close to something. That witch that was burned at the stake.
Yeah, she got close to the witch. She's cursed. That's the curse of Blackmoor Manor or something.
Goodbye.
Maybe. There are a lot of candidates for that. Okay, so next we're gonna touch the gargoyle. That's important. Gotta touch the gargoyle.
I know what I'm doing.
In runs, I frequently forgot to touch the gargoyle, and we're also gonna try to play cards. It's gonna break. That's also important. All right, cool. Remember to do both the things that I always forget. So let's go. So next we're going to talk to Mrs. Drake, because we should probably do that. It's been a while. We slept a whole night.
I'm happy that you're visiting.
Ate some food.
But I know how much you teenagers like your
played a bunch of games with Jane. We've had a good time. Explored some tunnels.
That you act respectfully and civilly
saw the cursed parrot barber.
Since my nephew Hugh is away on business.
Right on. And we
I
do
am
have a new
sure to be
donation from
settled.
Rooftop
And if there's
Song,
one thing I cannot
$10,
stand,
and
it's noise.
they say,
Hugh's
thanks
daughter
for putting
Jane
this
is staying
together.
with us and would
And
very much like
something
to
that got
intern,
censored
but Will's
in
trying to
on
protect her.
Pilify.
She has her
So,
studies and mustn't be disturbed during
but
her
thank you very
lessons.
much.
What is Jane studying?
Yes, thank you.
What every British schoolgirl needs to know. All of her schooling.
Oh yeah, no,
has
thank you
left
everyone for
her
just
with,
like
shall we
donating
say, a
all this money
cultural
and raising
deficit.
all this.
She's
It's
in
been
capable
crazy
hands
watching
now.
how
Is
like
she privately
much people have
tutored?
come together
Yes,
to
she
raise money
is,
for a good
just as
cause.
all
It's been super
Pendletons
cool.
before her. Ethel Bossany comes
But yeah,
from a
so
long line
Mrs.
of
Drake
tutors
says a
over
lot of
many
things. You have no
generations
choice but
of
to listen to her say a
Pendletons.
lot of
Now,
things.
please, I really do
But
not
if you
have
take a
time
lot
to
of interest in
entertain
Jane
you.
and her
You may
education
have
and,
to run a
ask her about
house,
her
but do
tutoring,
not
you don't have to talk to her about
and
Linda,
refrain
which
from
is
mucking
even more
about
time.
items
So
that
it saves a
aren't
few
yours.
seconds to just be
Two
like, yo,
rules
what's up with
Jane
Jane?
seems incapable of following. And before I forget, our kitchen
Okay,
is
but
being
now she's finally said all the
remodeled,
things
so our dining
that she wants to talk
situation
about.
is
So now we can
not
talk the things that we're
unorthodox.
actually here for.
I've made
There are
arrangements
two
with a
things
local
primarily.
restaurant
We want to talk to her about
deliver
Lulu
meals
so we
to
can figure out the
There
magic
should be a
word.
programmed number
And
for
then we
them on
want
the
to
phone in
ask
your
her about the
room.
card machine
Feel free
that
to
we
order
kind of just
whatever you
broke.
like.
Can you tell me
I
about
mean, okay,
Lulu?
we didn't break it. It's
Lulu is a
broken.
very
We definitely
old
didn't break it.
parrot. She must be over
Definitely was not
80
us.
years old.
It just is
Please be
broken.
very
It just
careful with
happened.
her, especially if you feed her.
But we gotta make sure to ask about the magic word first, because
Do you know
once we ask
anything
about the
Lulu's magic word?
Magic
crank,
word?
the card machine that she's gonna mention the crank for, spoilers. She's gonna give us a task to do while she searches for the crank, and then she's gonna dip.
Play for hours.
So we gotta finish the
Lulu would
conversation off with
sometimes
that.
grow sullen and refuse to play the game anymore unless they told her
But
that.
you're getting some wonderful backstory on Lulu.
What was it that
It's
they
lovely.
had to tell her? It's perched on the tip of my tongue. Ah, they had to tell Lulu that she was a very, very clever and beautiful bird.
Oh,
I'd like
forgot
to
how
play the
short that
card
last line
machine in
was.
the Great Hall, but
Look
it's
away for 2
broken.
seconds and you're losing time.
It's not broken. I removed its
But yeah, so now she's gonna
crank,
talk
as
about
it
the
was
crank,
proving to be
and
too
she's
much
gonna
of a
ask us to do
distraction
something for her.
Jane.
But thankfully, it's a really
I
fun thing to do.
suppose
You know,
I
it's
could
like
see
when
that
Jane
it's
is like,
one
"Oh, you got to play a
thing,
game with me,"
but
or you're
in
at the
the
mercy
meantime,
of, you know,
dear, and do
corn.
something for me, would you?
Sure.
This one is like fun, just like a little arranging puzzle. I love me doing some cleaning, some organizing.
I had them perfectly arranged in that box, so I could easily move
I love
them
me some
about to
plants
catch
too.
the light.
So organizing plants, just doubly fun.
Jane took all of them out when I wasn't looking. And now, for the life of me, I cannot get them back in the box so that they all
But yeah, this
fit.
is by
Why don't
far
you
the
give it a
longest
try while I
conversation in
see
the
about
run,
that
and we're
crank?
basically at the end of
If
it,
we
so that's
both
exciting.
succeed, we shall both be happy, if you catch my meaning. Remember, they must all fit in that box.
Alright, so now we're gonna fit them all in that box. Not much about to say about this, just a fun, neat little puzzle. The plants are always in the same spot every time. It's not randomized, thankfully, much like the jigsaw puzzle. So yeah, it's just a chill, good time. Placing some plants.
There.
Alright, so we'll just come back when Mr. Drake comes back in a while. Things will happen in the meantime. Okay, there's one sneeze. Dude, none of my practice runs or this run have been sneezeless. Oh, I can't type.
Congratulations, you're one of the few people who
But at least this time getting the sneezes for charity. So that's exciting.
As a reward, I'm going to let you in on
Maybe I'll get a second one. That was a really early first
word to the
sneeze.
wise, if you're wearing a hat.
Wait, oh, I forgot you can just cancel that. Okay, just one sneeze, unfortunately.
No, I'm Nancy Drew, a friend of Linda's.
How do you do? I'm Nigel Mukherjee. I'm researching the Penvillian family, and Mrs. Drake has graciously opened the library for me. Nothing much has been written about the Penvillians.
So yeah, so this is Nigel. He's also pretty great. Big fan. I'm a big fan of him, big fan of Mrs. Drake, big fan of like just about everyone in this game. Great game.
Perhaps it has
That's why I want to run this one.
Scandalous history?
Well, having a
yeah, so this is the final conversation where we're gonna have to like have a whole introductory spiel and talk about random flavor text.
Blackmoor Beast.
Blackmoor Beast?
It's a story that's been told for generations out here.
Just as a little homage to Secrets Can Kill, Nancy just kind of repeats the last thing Nigel said with a question mark every time.
Fangs prowling the moors. They asked the mistress of Blackmoor Manor, Eleanor.
But yeah, so you know, we're like halfway through the run, finally getting some lore on the actual family that's lived in the house, why they might be cursed, why we're here, if we're looking for anything. We've just been kind of roaming tunnels, playing some games, arranging some plants. Oh wait, that's not what I want to say. This is what I want to say. That could have been really bad.
That's Corbin Penvelin, born in
Yeah, so we can't ask him about Corbin until we have looked at that portrait that we did during the ghost hunt. I'm sure you remember. We got a great look at Corbin and touching the gargoyle, which is why I made a big deal about touching the gargoyle.
Continue his grandmother's experiments in the mystical arts.
Where can I find his coat of arms?
Yeah, so as you remember when we saw his portrait, his portrait is the only one in the Great Hall without a coat of arms under it. You're supposed to use the coat of arms to figure out a lot of puzzles in this game, like the solution to the dragon hands is on a coat of arms, the password to the computer is on Alan's coat of arms, so the fact that his is missing is very conspicuous.
Just type the characters that appear on
but of course, Nigel won't give us what we want until he's like, you gotta do something for me, and it's like, So we gotta do a typing challenge to prove that we're good enough at typing to, type for him, because apparently, he's such a snob, even though he can't be bothered to type up his memoirs himself. Whatever. You only need 30 words per minute to pass as well, so thankfully it's, not the most, like, he's not the snobbiest in terms of, like, actual skill required. It's not like, I will only accept people who type, 500 words per minute or something. So usually I just kind of type really fast in the first half and then just chill for the second half, but I think I'm gonna go for maybe a nicer score than I usually try to go for. If I'm good at typing.
And we just had another donation from Lego for $25 saying, can't wait for the inaugural season of the Nancy Drew 1v1 Lockout Video League. Good luck, Toburr, and the other runners today. Thank you so much, Lego.
Thanks, Lego. Also, we did it. We got the nice words per minute. Let's go. I tried to do this in my warm-up, and I got 68, and I was so sad.
I think you'll find them quite interesting.
But yes, thank you very much, Lego. I appreciate looking forward to you organizing that as well.
These are the most boring memoirs I've ever read in my life.
So Nancy can't read because these memoirs are actually hilarious, and I highly recommend pausing the video if you watch the VOD back and just reading them, because they're a delight, frankly. He gets suddenly transported to the American Southwest. He doesn't explain how. It's pretty solid.
Nigel! Nigel!
So yeah, we're just gonna stumble upon this weird ritual and scream Nigel's name out into it. Thankfully, they won't notice us. They're a little busy.
No key without toil, no fire without oil, no key without...
See, this is kind of what I meant when I was like, we're technically done with Jane and Ethel, but like, we're seeing them. Thankfully, they don't see us, or else they'll probably talk a lot.
To the end.
Instead, we get a fun little CGI cutscene, and Ethel's gonna smile because she doesn't know how to do anything else. Oh, actually, no, that's a pretty neutral expression. I shouldn't limit her like that.
A little creepy.
I did it perfect that time, didn't I? Well, almost perfect.
You did very well. But remember...
Yeah, she did a great job pouring that oil in the floor hole. Fantastic job.
And don't forget, you have a maths exam tomorrow.
Okay, so anyway, now that we've done all this, and we got the coat of arms from Nigel, we can finally enter secret passageway number 2, which is pretty exciting. By turning this gargoyle a little bit. So you can try to turn the gargoyle like this before you get the coat of arms, nothing will happen. The game is like, nope, you've got to make sure to get the thing from Nigel, because that's the only way we can railroad you into watching that ritual. And you do kind of need, like, that ritual is actually important for finishing the game, so can't be that upset. Okay, so we're gonna scare Nigel, which will let us get one of the column keys later.
Looks like the rest of this grid is on the other side of the wall.
Right, so we've done everything we can in this tunnel for now, unfortunately. We're gonna have to go through the other tunnel to progress. So we're just gonna go to bed, because it's the middle of the night. Oh, all right. Cool. I promise I didn't do that for the $20. I just misclicked.
That?
And lost 20 seconds. Lovely. You're not supposed to see this. You're supposed to just go into Nancy's room and everything's fine. I'm not good at clicking, though.
I wonder if these are what made those red eyes I saw outside the night I arrived.
Okay, I guess this doesn't really matter exactly the time we set for anymore since we've already seen the Lady in Black, but I'll just do this because I'm used to it. So yeah, because it was the middle of the night, everyone's asleep. And I miss everyone. I feel lonely. And by everyone, I specifically mean Lulu and no one else. Because we now know the magic word.
I know the magic word.
So now we'll be able to solve the parrot barber thing in the other tunnel and progress.
Beautiful bird.
Clever and beautiful. How true, clever and beautiful.
Easy, Lulu. You're hurting my ears.
So, what's your word?
Barber.
Leech.
All right, Barber Leech, as everyone knows, obviously. Don't even know why we had to ask, frankly, but I'm glad we did, because now we're done with Lulu, and I'm sad. I miss Lulu already. Yes, now we're gonna input Leech and keep going. Oh, okay, that was not the order I usually do. Spicing things up. Okay, so yeah, so there are more words besides Barber, but thankfully the game takes mercy on you, and if you've, like, you have to ask Lulu... Hang on, this is hard to talk and focus at the same time. Yeah, so, like, there are more words, and you have to talk to Lulu to solve the first one, but after that, the game's just kind of like, alright, we made you, like, go through all the motions to talk to Lulu once, you can just magically know the rest of them, and we won't complain.
Wow, looks like I won't be needing any more of Jane's glow sticks.
And we did just have a donation from Karen for $6.90. And she says, okay, I said I'd donate for the sneezes. Thanks, Nigel.
Oh, thanks, Karen. Much appreciated.
Oh my gosh, the room is moving.
Yeah, so we're gonna go through the moving rooms, which are just a huge headache casually, but you can actually navigate them pretty fast by moving like that. Right, so we can look at the snake.
Maybe knowing what that snake symbol means will help me figure out what the others mean.
And now we are walled in the tunnels once again. So we're gonna make our way back out. And take care of some other stuff before we come back. Alright, so we're gonna take this slide, because one, it gets us progress. We need to see this little bullseye target on the way down. That'll help Nancy remember to pick up an item later. And also because if you leave by means other than the slide, then you run into Ethel and have a very long conversation, and then you're just really sad. Or also scared.
Deliberately set this up so they can use
Okay, well there's one croc.
those tiles over there.
So this is just entirely random. You just want to get to the other side. You want to not encounter a crocodile. That's about it. It's all random. The tiles to the side. Oh, okay. There's a croc on the boat. That's the rarest tile. So the different tiles all have different probabilities of spawning a croc. The ones in the middle, that's 3 crocs. The ones in the middle have like a medium-ish probability. The ones next to trees have high probability, but the ones onto the side have the very low probability. So like overall, it is fastest on average to take this path. I think that's 5 now. Rather than YOLOing it, like by going straight across the middle, which is obviously the fastest optimally. The boat has the lowest chance of having a croc, but because, you know, the marathon wants me to raise money for charity, it kindly gave me a boat croc, which is a bonus $10 on top of the total croc quantity, which I think was like 5 or 6. Hope someone besides me is counting. Okay, so now we're gonna talk to Mrs. Drake, because she's back. And she has the crank for us.
It's very curious, but quite wonderful.
I managed to get all those seedlings back in the box.
Wonderful. And I managed to
Hardest
find
dialogue in the game.
There you go.
Great, thank you.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, scrolling down to say goodbye before Nancy finishes her very short thank you is like actually like
Did you say something,
hard.
Mrs. Drake?
Not to you.
So like the one thing you had to be like actually focused on when talking to people usually. Okay, so now we're gonna take a little detour back here to pick up this cricket ball, since we saw it on the slide, or we saw the target on the slide. Okay, we're gonna put the crank in here. And now we're gonna input the code we saw when we were looking through the telescope. I'm sure you all remember, so I don't even need to explain it. And she's gonna wager that arrowhead, which is one of the column keys. All right, so this game, it's Go Fish. You gotta win a game of Go Fish, although there are only 10 suits, or 10 numbers, I guess. But only 3 suits. That's math. All right, apparently we just got dealt symmetrical hands or something. Wow, okay. This is interesting. She's literally down to 1 card in her hand. Huh. And it's a Pegasus. Okay, this'll be something. Yeah, so I don't know. It's Go Fish. We're gonna play it. Thankfully, the AI isn't very good and won't ever remember like things you guess at any point. So you can just kind of just guess like your least recently guessed thing and usually do pretty well. Oh, this is another game where there's an interesting difference between the difficulties. Wow, thankfully she did not guess for the liars, because that could have been bad. Okay, cool. So yeah, the difficulties. So for some Go Fish heads at home, you might be familiar with the house rule of fishing your wish, where if you guess a thing, your opponent doesn't have it, but you draw it, then you get to go again. That doesn't exist on Junior mode, but it does exist on Senior mode for whatever reason. It's never explained or anything. Oh, okay, so that's going to be a set for Betty, which I believe is money. Also, every time she takes a card, every card she takes from Nancy is also money on top of that. I've not been counting that, though. I'm going to have to go back through the bot to check. Okay, so thankfully, that's our 5th set. You might have noticed that there are 10 suits, so you might be asking yourself, if it's 5-5, who wins? Thankfully, the game is a merciful one. Oh, right, I still have a suit unfinished left. The game is merciful, and 5-5 ties are broken by Nancy winning, thankfully. Or else this game would be very sad very frequently.
I won!
Because I've won this game with exactly 5 a lot. So we kind of dominated that. That was actually very unexpected. Usually the games are closer, so that's unfortunate for Charity, but fortunate for Speed. Okay, so we're going to get this wand, which is also a column key. It's also useful for other stuff too, later in the run.
Its tail signifies?
But now we have 5 of the 6. And we're going to get the last one very soon, after we solve that snake puzzle thing, since Nigel has explained it to us. Now that he has said the magic word of alchemy, we magically know all the solutions to the puzzle. What it actually does is it lets you search the web on your phone to find a cool article about alchemy, which tells you how to actually solve the puzzle. But that's slow, so we're not going to do that. Oh, dude, everything's in a different spot than I'm used to it being because I picked up the lady in black stuff. So we're going to solve these 3 columns on our way back to the stairs. Orland is crying, but we're done with her, so she's going to deal with that herself. We're just going to make our way downtown, or downstairs at least. Back through all the fun tunnels. Back through the fun spinny slidey rooms. And now we're going to solve the alchemy puzzle, because Nancy's an alchemist now. All right, easy. We just made some elements. I'm sure you all know what they were.
Whoa.
Yes, now we're in the secret alchemy forge lab place. That's pretty hype.
Looks like some winds are stronger than others.
Okay, we can capture the south wind now. That's very good. I'm gonna play this safe. I got punished for playing it safe. All right, that's twice I've been blown back, so that's 420 times 2, I believe, is what I said was how much I donate for that. Okay, please stop blowing me, friend. Please stop blowing me, friend. Oh, okay. You know, I'm going up this way. Okay, he's following me. Uh-oh. Okay, please. No. Oh, the north wind is such a troll. Okay, perfect. Wow, no deaths, which is, you know, good for speed. Oh, it's usually good for speed, but I got very trolled by the north wind, so it wasn't even that fast. Also unfortunate because I think most of my incentives for this were based around dying, which usually happens. You have a 1 in 3 chance, actually, roughly, of dying before you can even move. It's a really balanced puzzle. Yeah, that went okay, I guess. Could have gone worse. So yeah, so that alchemy lab thing that we were just in is kind of what a lot of this game revolves around. The final set of puzzles are basically around supplying the lab with the 4 elements. That puzzle gave it air. So now we're going to get our last column key, because the columns, plus the ritual where Jane poured the oil on the floor. I missed! Oh my god. That never happens to me. All right. Well, Galen can make fun of me for the rest of my life now. There's nothing really you can do at this point besides try again, so we're gonna do that. Anyway, that's what should have happened. We get our final column key. So now we're gonna open up the columns, because by rearranging the pipes in the columns, that supplies the alchemy with oil, which is earth, I guess. Oh, and that also, a while ago, we actually did the water one already, when we did that thing with like the rearranging the diamonds or triangles or something. You are the helmet.
Sounds like I did
Right before we went to the moving rooms the first time. So yeah, so we've done 3 of the 4 elements. The last thing we need to do is fire. And fire, obviously, is gargoyles. So we're gonna wave the wand over the gargoyles.
This wand probably works
because, you know,
through
why not?
magnets.
The wand probably works through magnets. Magnets are fire, I think. I mean, magnets are fire. I love me some magnets. And now that we've touched all the gargoyles, we're gonna just wave the wand through the magnets.
Tells me I just succeeded in lighting the forge.
And now we've lit the forge. So now we have supplied the forge with all the elements. And now we're gonna go to the forge and make a cake, kind of. It's a molten metal cake, but you know, no less tasty than a normal one.
This looks like
all right, so you got to look at a lot of the coat of arms around the Great Hall to figure out exactly the exact things you should be clicking to make this cake key thing. But if you just memorize it, then you don't have to look. I'm gonna look really silly if this is wrong.
There, that looks right.
Okay, cool. Looks like I was right. So yeah, so now we are putting the cake key in the hole. Who is that?
I'm the pendulum.
Jane?
Besides, I would have found it before you did if I didn't have to sit there all day learning all that other silly rubbish.
Jane, I found this in under an hour. Like, you could just found it in an afternoon.
To me, like a meteorite.
A rock?
Like, just after school one day. Just like, you know, get off your butt. Just find the rock.
All because of a stupid rock?
I mean, it's a pretty nice rock, Jane. I wouldn't say it's a stupid rock.
No, don't
like, look at that rock.
So we also have another new donation. This one's from Ethel, $25, and it's vaguely threatening. It says, "Come talk to me, Toburr."
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Yeah, so Jane just got captured because her ancestors who like built all these puzzles and stuff to hide the nice rock, they're like, you know what'd be really fun? Is if once like our descendants like solve all the puzzles, like it's like a tradition in the family, right? Is like make the descendants solve all their ancestors' puzzles to find the rock, and then they make another puzzle to make it even harder for the future generations. So like, you know what'd be really funny is if we just, our descendant finally found the nice rock and then just got stuck in a cage until they suffocate to death unless someone's there to save them. But this is time.
There we go. So that was 47:38.